Hey everybody, Mr. Paku Paku back here with a video blog. I know I haven't done this in a while, but now that I have some content, I guess, and things have been going on in the video game world, I have something to talk about. First, I just want to show you my latest pickups. First is this white PSP, 2001 model. I believe it's the Star Wars one. Got it for cheap. The UMD drive is a little busted, but still works. I modded it mainly just to play arcade ROMs, so playing those shooters are pretty good. Next is this NES game called Mappyland. This one was recommended to me by a friend. However, I had a tough time finding it. It actually came to me by luck. I traded a few things that I didn't need, and this guy had this game, and pretty much I talked him into including this in a deal. And the game isn't rare, or it's not worth more than $8 to $10, but it's something I had to have in my collection. It's an old arcade game. It's pretty cool. The label is nice. There isn't much scratches or dents or anything on the label, so when I tried out the ROM, it was a pretty cool classic arcade style type of game where mice are being chased by cats and you have to outmaneuver them. Next NES game is this game called Alpha Mission. This was an arcade game long time ago, once upon a time. It's a shmup. I wouldn't count it as one of the best shmups on NES, but it's definitely something worth trying. This game doesn't cost much, maybe $4 or $5 at most, but it's definitely a game you gotta play. It's definitely a game you gotta have, especially if you just need a hole filler in your collection. This one, not as good as the Mappyland, but can't complain. The game works. That's what matters. Now, these two games I got at the Gaming Zone here in Tempe, Arizona. What makes these special? Nothing really. It's just that I've been looking for black box games, and these two games are Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers, separate in their own cartridge. I already own the Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt cartridge, but I've been wanting to get a collection of black box games for quite some time. And I know games like Donkey Kong Math is a little out of my price reach, so maybe I'll press my luck on that. But as far as a collection of black box games, I figure out, hey, why not just try to get the common games that you can find? And the funny thing is, it took me a while to find these two. I don't know why, but the cartridge where both these games are featured, it's really cheap. I guess because there's so much in production, or that was in production back in '85, that it's impossible to get rid of. I think someone could tile their bathroom in nothing but Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridges, and they'll still have a mass amount to give out. I guess you could build homeless people a house with it, and still have it go for around $3 or $4. But for these games individually, the strange thing is they cost maybe about $5 or $6 a game, and I've seen them go up higher, especially on eBay. Now I know we don't really trust eBay prices where it's buy it now, but I mean that's something I go by if I'm desperate enough to want it now rather than to wait for a bid, because sometimes you'll find what people are willing to bid on a game match close enough to a buy it now price. So I usually look for the lowest buy it now as a reference, and it's just strange because it used to be like $4 or $5, and now each game goes for around $7. I mean, you'll still find it for $5 or $6, but average price is between $7 or $8 for just one cartridge. That's kind of a lot, considering the combo cartridge, where both games are in, costs only $4 or $5 at most, still to this day. As far as pickups go, that's pretty much it. Nothing Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing rare. It's just games that I've been looking for and games I've been wanting since I tried out the ROM. But other things that have been going on in the gaming community, as far as I know, is this hot topic called me quality. I'm going to keep this one short because there's really not much left to say about it. If you need a background about it, basically there's a guy from Arizona. Woo! Represent. He was a little, I'm not going to say upset because that is kind of extreme from what I've read and seen in his interviews. I guess he just felt that it was left out, that there was no same-sex marriage in this upcoming Sims type of game where you use your Me character on the 3DS. I forgot what the game is called, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, the guy who started the movement basically just wanted Nintendo to hear the message. Nintendo heard it. At first they just gave a simple response of why the game is made like that, and then a few days later they apologized. So I want to applaud both parties, both the person who started the movement and both Nintendo. Round of applause. They kept it clean, they kept it classy, they kept it very mature, and now they're both moving on with the topic. I don't really know what's happening, don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but the only fact I know is that it's still going to be released as is, as it was originally created. Perhaps the option of a same-sex marriage will be in the sequel or a patch. It hasn't been discussed yet, but Nintendo offered, compromise for it. So, not much to say about that. The only thing that's bothering me today are the people on the forums. Now, this video is not to discuss, my personal opinion of the matter or the topic of homosexuality. It's not to discuss or to offend anyone. The only problem I have is people aren't letting it go. And what I mean by that is the two parties settled it already. Now, the discussion about this game isn't even about the game anymore. It's a lifelong circle about who is right and who is wrong when it comes to the topic of homosexuality. And the only thing I want to say about that is people have a choice to choose the way they want to live their life. Whether they have a strong stance of being gay or they have a strong stance of being straight. That is their choice to live, and that's if they want to share their opinion or their stance, they shouldn't have to go through this hatred, or no one should be going through that hatred, because as a gaming community, we found acceptance with each other. There shouldn't have to be a whole equality movement after the fact that the movement has already spread its message and it's been heard. That's it. So I'm hoping to have it die down, and if people need to debate it, I don't mind having or seeing one or two or even up to 5 boards discussing the whole debate. Because people will have to get it off their chest. People want to, educate, I guess. So, when people want to do that, I have no problem with it. The problem I have is when it floods the gaming community, the gaming boards, the gaming pages on Facebook, it just becomes spam. We've all heard the stories. We've all heard, people's opinions. We've all heard it all. We have. We really have. And what I just don't like about it is that it divides the community. And it's something we don't need, because we've faced different types of adversity already. We've gone through different tests, and if this is a test again to us, then we just have to let it go already. If Nintendo and the person who started it can let it go, they can move on, so should we. But like I said, if people still need to chime in, let's at least keep it moderate, and let's keep it classy. There's no reason to call out words like homophobe or bigot, especially if the person has been asked to state his stance, or if he's just stating a stance. I think it's only right to call someone a bigot or a homophobe is when they start making threats, or when they start talking smack that can threaten your livelihood, or your lifestyle. But if they're just taking their stance saying, I'm a straight person, I'm a gay person, it should be, that's all. And if you want to educate them with your view, also try to keep that clean. There's no reason to call them a moron or old-fashioned bigot. There's just no room for that. We hear it a lot on Xbox Live already. We hear it a lot on every online game. We hear people talk trash just to get in our heads. But this time around, in a gaming forum, there's no competition. There's no winners. So if you have to educate, please keep it clean. That's all I'm asking. I'm not gonna go into the debate on, is homosexuality right or wrong. That's for someone else to lecture you on. That's for you guys to debate amongst yourselves. As for me, I just want to see gaming news again. It's been a week since I've heard anything new. I don't even know if this game's going to be good or not, to be honest, because everyone's talking about, who's this and who's that, and you're this, you're that, you're wrong, you're right, yada yada yada. I would rather hear the opinions of gamers to talk about the game, more so than listen to a review from a writer from IGN or GameSpot. Not that they're bad reviewers. It's just that I like to go through different views and not just a one-sided. Oh, he rated a 9.5. I'll believe it. So again, I just want the gaming community and the gaming forums to go back to being peaceful again, relatively peaceful, talking about games, and just keep it clean. That's all. Well, this is Mr. Paku Paku signing off. I also hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. If it weren't for my mom, I wouldn't be here, and also if it weren't for my mom, I wouldn't be the gamer I am today. I wouldn't have any interest, and I probably would have just stuck doing something else non-nerdy like. Also, shout out to all the mom gamers. Hopefully you can influence your children to continue on the trend of playing video games, whether it's retro or new video games. And if they don't, if they decide to become bookworms or actors or something else that's successful in life, go for it. I'm all for it. Great mothers support their kids, so whether or not they become future gamers or not, as long as you guys are great mothers to them, keep rocking on. Alright, signing off guys. Have a good night.